Okay, next part. Coming off the back of the previous one with OBS, I've upped the recording quality in OBS starting from this video. So once this one's recorded, I will then use this to check the recomposed video script and make sure the quality we're getting out is better, assuming the quality of this is actually good. So we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, I looked at Whisper, so a little query over here to ChatGPT, because I figure ask the owning AI about its own products. Is Whisper AI's cost influenced by the file size of the audio? Is it better to upload MP3 over WAV? Short answer, doesn't really matter. So does size influence cost? No, it's based on duration. Talks about the 25 meg file size limit, which they'd already touched on, but it's sort of saying if your MP3 quality is low, then it will be a problem. But that's fine, we can control that as well. So long story short, I've come back for that audio generate transcript code and gone, hey, change the script to always convert to MP3, no need to check the WAV file size. So that's going to add a little bit of overhead to the script, because it's got to do an MP3 conversion to trade off a smaller upload. So my assumption is, because my internet connection is not amazing, the upload to OpenAI will be a smaller file size than a 25 meg WAV. And I'm like, for me, a point of failure, like these APIs, like the image generation APIs for both OpenAI and Google are flaky. They can break. So giving them a smaller payload, I think, is probably sensible. So I've gone, hey, don't bother with this WAV file size check, just always convert to MP3. You can see there, it had an if statement, if WAV greater than limit MP3, and then the green is what it's now done, which is, no, just always do MP3. I'm not even going to bother testing this. That should just work. So we'll commit that, always convert MP3. Find out later if I'm right, but it'll be easy to fix if it's not, but it looks good to me. This is the thing, like you do enough coding with AI and you kind of get a feel for, it's not a very complex change, but I'm kind of used to what it cocks up, what it gets wrong and what it doesn't. So stuff like that, yeah, there's a chance it could screw it up, but I'm confident. So what else? Got it here. Done. I'm going to call that done. Let's be honest. Let's do it in let's put it in testing. FFmpeg will have to check this in the next video and see what the results of this video looks like. Let's have a look at analysis narrative. I think I've got a script for this. I've no idea what this is going to do. I can't actually remember. I think I may abandon this. So I'm going to need to understand what it's spec'd here. That's not blocked. I've got credits, so we can run this. And because we've got the video and everything else, and the transcript most importantly, this should run. So it may fail. Let's see what happens. Pass 1, structural mapping. So it's going to make an API call to Anthropic. Hopefully it works and this video doesn't become 40 minutes of debugging broken Anthropic code. Pass 2, editorial recommendation. So this is going over video 1 in this series. So video 1 is just me talking about writing the PRD in Claude and what this project's about. Interesting. 3 segments classified, 3 marked key. Editorial recommendations, 2 cuts recommended. Overall score 5.4 out of 10. So basically it's going your video. Where has this spat out? Right, here we go. Let's sort word wrapping so we can read it. Just so you know what I did there. Command-Shift-P in VS Code opens the command palette, and then I just typed in word wrap and hit toggle word wrap. I won't get into the millions of other commands you can run in VS Code, but you know, you can do stuff like transform to uppercase, all sorts of stuff. Get to the settings menu. That's the main way to navigate. So Command-Shift-P, Control-Shift-P on Windows, does that kind of thing. What's this done? So segment 1 to 26 seconds. Developer explains this is a test to evaluate automatic transcriptions and silence capability. The confidence is going to be, is he talking shit or not? Keep true. Functional intro that sets up the experiment. Worth keeping as it frames the entire clip. Though this is a test as a weak cold open. Wow. Okay. Speaker notes is outside with background noise and intentionally goes silent to measure the ambient noise floor. Hang on, which one's it? No. This is the 1 minute video. So I didn't want to do this one. I'm not surprised it rated this 5.5 out of 10. I want to run this on the full thing. So something to do with the file it's picked up. Has picked the wrong one up. It's still interesting though. But what's it saying? Can't. Weak cold open. Intentional silence gap is meta relevant to the experiment, but will read as dead air to viewers. Yeah. Weak cold open. The hook moment at 53 is a far stronger. Cutting the meta introduction. Yeah, interesting. This could be good. Here's what I'm thinking, right? What I've noticed a lot of folks doing these days is, and it's a very, very good thing that people are doing this on YouTube. They do a video like mine, where it's 40 minutes of conversation, podcast, whatever, and then their video editor is going, let's get all the juicy bits and do like a pre-roll. I don't think pre-roll is the right term, but an opening segment. Like watch Diary of a CEO. Like he's a master at this. He may have even been the first to do this format, because what it is loads and loads of teasers for what's coming up in the video. And they're doing like extra production on these intros, so this graphics overlays and stuff. So it really hooks you in. It's such a good way to hook people in the video. This thing might be a way to do that. I can see I'll get problems trying to automate this, but it's giving me ideas. So this is interesting. Okay, I want to run this on a D. So we need to figure out why that didn't pick up. Well, we need to figure out what it did pick up and then how to get it to pick up the video I thought I'd run through. So yeah, because I've got this transcript, which is the longer video. Let's have a look. There's some kind of leftover file that that it's picked up. Analyze narrative. Does this take an input? No. So there's no input command. So it's just picking up test 01. Let's go to the bottom. Run main, job ID, config, load config, run. Run goes narrative path analysis, Claude, structural mapping, narrative context, output path. It wants to work in, that's its output. Transcript, this is saying load manifest. Here we go. Manifest job. So manifest job. Okay, so the manifest has still got the old transcript in. So that's what's gone wrong. I need to run build job manifest. There you go. Boom. Claude probably could have told me that quicker. So we just need to run this one. Let's look at the manifest again. No, that's still wrong. So manifest is now not picking up the right thing. What we'll do, I'll delete narrative, I'll delete analysis, and then we can go stage by stage and figure out what's happening here. So what have we got? We got a transcript. This is definitely the right transcript because it's the long one. I wonder if the manifest won't overwrite. That might be the problem. So the script may go, oh, there's already a file in there, I'm not going to overwrite it, in which case that's a bug. That's the kind of thing a Femia thing would pick up. In reality, that wouldn't be a problem, because what's going to happen is each video will get its own folder. So I'm like bastardizing test 01 and overriding bits, which is hacky. But in reality, what will happen is each video will get its own folder, and then all of these should just execute once. But if it needs to replay, that could be a problem. So if there's a bug here, we need to fix it. Okay, let's try the manifest again. That looks better. Let's fix a bug while we know about it. Build job manifest. Clear. Will this script overwrite a manifest JSON file if one is already in the folder? Trying to get AI to do the things that take me more than 10 seconds to eyeball. Sponsored by Diet Coke. Yes, it will overwrite silently. Wonder why it didn't work then. Also note the manifest build in step 5 always resets. Fine. Okay. Alright, so we manifest looks correct to me. That's the longer one. And then we can move on to analyze narrative. And then I want to figure out what the hell Claude has cooked with what it thinks it's going to do with all this. So we're going to run 6 again. This will take a little bit of time because it's going to... No, wrong one. I did 5 again, which is fine. 6. Okay, so this will take a little bit of time. It's going to upload all this to Claude's API, which I haven't used before. I've only used OpenAI with the various GPT models. But you saw it work, so whatever this spits back, it looked pretty good for what it spec. Whether it's useful or not, we'll figure out later. So now what we need to understand is what's it going to do with this? Because it's going, hey, your video's shit, you could have a stronger hook on one. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But it's not like I'm going to fundamentally change it. So the pipeline after this is like generate content, detect shorts, render outputs, generate captions, review stage. So there's no stage in this to go fundamentally re-edit the video. I may do that later. But this narrative may just be a good signal for me to go, your videos are shit because of this reason. And then maybe over time I get a graph that tells me because it's giving me this feedback proactively, then I can go, okay, I need to do less of this. So it may just help me improve just based on an AI analysis. So 17 segments classified, 12 mark keep. 7 cuts recommended, overall score 7.4 out of 10. So the highest score, room for improvement. What do we got? Word wrap. I don't know how I turn that on permanently. Good series framing, but vibe code needs a beat to land. Consider trimming the stumble at 7 to 11, if possible in edit. Host clarifies this as an editor automation project, not a research agent, and he's ready to start a Claude conversation. Useful framing to set scope expectations for the audience. Host jokes that Claude has become sycophantic and blows smoke up his ass. More recently, off my own jokes. Funny but adds no informational value. Safe cut. Could keep one-liners personality beat if tone feels too dry after cut. Well, yeah, it's kind of the point, right? Like, I'm not trying to be overproduced here. I very much want this to be what you see is what you get. This is interesting though. What I'm going to do, you can see it's going keep false. So we'll search for these, see what it's telling me to kill. Host briefly mentions hook detection and registers more red flags about Claude's suggestions. Vague and inconclusive. The red flags point is not developed, cut cleanly. Yeah, that's a fair call, and I'm aware of that as well, where I'm saying a lot, and there's some things that I'm going over too quickly, and you know, if you're watching, you'll be like, whoa, hang on, you've dropped that in, slow down, spend more time, explain that bit a bit slower. So I think these kind of these calls are good. Let's look at more of the keep false. Host dismisses narrative analysis again and briefly acknowledges shorts detection and silence detection as upcoming challenges. Repetition critic. Host explains his dual Mac account set up for screen recording to avoid exposing personal files. Interesting behind the scenes detail but too long and unrelated. Could be compressed to a single length sentence or cut entirely. Host notices birds in the background. Keep false hard cut here. So this is harsh. This is very cool. This is very, very cool. I don't think I will use this in any way programmatically. I can totally see a use in this in terms of helping me improve. I'll give you an example. I've just made my own mistake I'm going to talk about. When I first started in YouTube, I would go all the time, and I was laughing because I just did it. And I'd watch my videos back and go, oh my god, I'm saying all the time, and clearly a lesson I need to relearn. The way I fixed it, got a printout of the word with a red cross on and put it next to my webcam. So as I'm recording, I'm constantly seeing in my face, stop saying stop saying and it kind of helped. Just caught myself doing one. So it's this kind of thing. If you're getting this kind of feedback, this could help me improve over time. Some of these are, I don't agree with all of these. What I think I would be interested in is, the very thing I was going to ask for was a type. So see how it's got type, intro, context, tangent, main point. So it'd be good to summarize over time, like how many of these is it hitting me on a keep false, like tangent, and almost giving me a score over time. An idea. It's cool. I'm not going to do anything with it now. I'm not seeing the value other than it being something cool to look at. When I get to UI later, I may do something with this. I think it will be cool. I think it'll be very, very quick for Claude to whip me up an AI that gives me a tracking over what it thinks about my performance. We'll see. I mean, some of these videos, one is going to differ from another so much. I don't know. We'll see. But very cool, very cool. I am going to call it there. I'm mindful of not making this one too long because I wanted to see the recording quality of this one. We're just coming up to 20 minutes. So we'll close this out. We'll see what the recording quality is like, and I'm going to use this to go back and look at those bugs on the video quality and see whether we can close off some of these tasks. I'll do that off screen, no point in recording that. And then in the next one, we'll start looking at generate content, which is where things really get interesting, and I think where I'll start to get bigger problems with this.